Hello everybody, so today I want to quickly look at a little bit of VEX and in particular how to create parameters within VEX. And I'm showing you this now because we'll probably use this function quite a lot in the future. So I wanted to make sure that you understand how to do this. So let's start with just having, say, a cube. So I've added my cube. And in order to write VEX code, I need to use something called a wrangle. And I can here use attribute wrangle or a point wrangle. I'm going to use the attribute wrangle. They'll both work out the same in this particular case because they will default to points. Okay, the point wrangle will do exactly the same if I find that one. There we go. And that also has exactly the same if you see. Okay. Anyway, I'll remove that for now. Let's just keep it like this and go into my wrangle, and now I can add my VEX code here. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to try and move this whole box upwards. So I'm going to move it in Y. So first of all, I'm going to create my parameter, my position attribute. Okay, and I just want to move it in Y, so I'm going to select Y, dot Y. Now why did I do that? Because it's a vector. It has an X, Y and a Z component, so therefore I just want the Y component, so I'm going to define that by selecting the position followed by the dot Y. And let's say I want to move it to position, I don't know, let's say position 2, so it's going upwards. Okay, so I'll select 2, and then of course I must end it with a semicolon. Think of the semicolon in programming language like a full stop in say English. It's kind of like that. It's kind of saying this is now complete, this piece of information, right? And so I'll select that. Now what I'm using on my Mac is command return to put that into the correct position. And oh, what happened? Well, all of the points that I had have now moved to position 2, and if I look down at my geometry spreadsheet, I can see that all p.y equals 2. But I didn't really want to do that, did I? I actually wanted just to add 2 to the original. So let me go back to my original box. We can see that my Y position, I've got some of them -5, which is of course these ones at the bottom, and some of them, -0.5, and some of them are at +0.5, which are going to be these ones here at the top. I just want to add to that. So how am I going to do that? Well, there's a couple of ways. I'm going to show you the long-handed way first of all. So I want to keep my original position, so I've got at p.y, and then I'm going to use the position attribute again, .y, but this time I'm going to +2. Alright, and let's add that. There we go. Now it's moved and it's all stayed in position, right? There's actually a shorthand way to write that too. I won't show you that now. I prefer generally to use the long-handed way. I seem to be able to read that better, but I will also show you the other one at another time. But anyway, there we go. So I can change that now to 2, I can change it to 1, etc, etc, right? But let's say, for example, it's a pain in the neck for me having to keep going in and changing these numbers around. Okay, I want that to be 2.4. There we go. Oh yeah, brilliant. But maybe I just want to move it with some kind of a slider or an easier box, right? So a way to do that is to in fact create an extra parameter, and I can use that using the channel function, and that's just using the ch. Okay. And then maybe I want to say that this is going to be y, or maybe height. I'll say the height of it, right? Okay, so the way I've done that, of course, I've put it in brackets, or I think you say parentheses in the United States, and then I've put these in quotes as well because it's a string. Okay, and then I will execute that, and it's returned back there. Why is that? I've got to hit this little button here. See this one it's just highlighted? So it's create spare parameter for each unique call of chi, which is the channel function. So let's do that. And there we go. So the channel that I've just created has now appeared here, and it's at 0. And as you can see, I can now move this between 0 and 1. Happy days. Okay. Now, if I want to be more specific, what I can do is I can tell this that this has to be a float value. And the way to do that is using channel and then put an F at the end of this. And nothing will change here, but I'm just specifying that this must be a float no matter what. It's not an automatic setup now, right? Another thing I might want to do though, let's say for example, I don't want to use a float and I want to use an integer. I can use the I. Let me recreate this again. And now we're seeing that it's just selected on 0 and 1. Let me see if I can actually delete that spare parameter, which I think I might do. I'm trying to remember how to do this now. Delete. I can't remember exactly where that is, but if I delete that and create a new one, so let me just create another name for this. So I'll call it height 2. And then now I can see it's got this 1, 2, 3 for the steps, right? Super. Okay, let's create a new one here, I think. And I want to remove this. And this time I want to create it so I can move the position, all of them, separately as a vector. So this time I'm just going to select my vector. Okay, again, I'm going to make my vector. Nothing's happened. And I really wish I could remember how to delete. Here we are. Delete all spare parameters. There we go. That's it. Got it. And this time I want to do the same thing. I'm going to add a channel, but I want to add a vector. So let's start that with a V. So remember, we've got this, which is a float. We've got this one for an integer with an I, and we've got this one with a V, which is for vector. And this time I'm going to call this one, I'm just going to call it position. Okay. And let's do that. Okay, we're good. Now I'm going to add that at the bottom, and I can see that I've now got my 3 numbers, and I can put them wherever I want. So I'm going to make it 0.5. Yeah, that's in X, of course. Let's put this to 2, and let's maybe put this to 1. Oops. Button there we go, to 1. Okay, and of course I can move that around until my heart's content. Now the thing I really wanted you to learn here is really just how to create this parameter function, because in the next lesson I'm going to use that a little bit more. Okay, so good luck with that. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and we'll speak again very soon. All right, bye bye.